Champ Focus. After a good week, 10 out of 11. Killed it last week. Fucking try to do the same shit this week. We got Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. Start from the top. Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. I'm going to go Glover Teixeira. Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. I'm going to go Figueiredo. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. I'm going Gilbert Burns. Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy. I'm going Andrade. Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. I'm going Paul Craig. Surprisingly. Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Ihor Poteria. This fight is terrible. Oh shit. Um, I'm going with Poteria. He's going to have the speed and the youth. Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. I'm going Gregory Rodriguez. Thiago Moises versus Costa or Milk Costa. I'm going Thiago. Gabriel Bonfim versus Munir Lazez. I'm going Gabriel Bonfim. Gelton Almeida versus Shamil Abdurrahimov. I'm going Gelton Almeida. Luan Lacerda versus Cody Stamen. I'm going Cody Stamen. Terrence McKinney versus Ishmael Bonfim. I'm going Bonfim. Worley Alves versus Nicholas Dalby. I'm going Worley Alves. Josane Nunez versus Zara Farin. I'm going Josane. Daniel Marcos versus Simon Oliveira. I'm going Daniel Marcos. All right. I'm going Daniel because the man looks more violent. Simon is too content to lay on his back. It is going to be tough because it is in Brazil, so the jiu-jitsu um, could count for a little more than it would out here in the States. But I'm sticking to Daniel Marcos. Josane, she's going to have the power. Orly Alves versus Nicholas Dalby. I just think Orly Alves is just as experienced as Nicholas, more athletic, more explosive. I think he'll take the win here. Terrence McKinney doesn't move his neck. Ishmael seems um, educated defensively when it comes to the boxing. I think he'll stay alive long enough to be able to kill McKinney late second, beginning third round. Luan Lacerda versus Cody Stamen. This is actually a pretty difficult fight considering the odds are um, so apart. The gap is crazy. Cody just does come at like with a high pressure. That fight with Marab is a is an eye opener. So I'm sticking with Cody on this one. Jilton Almeida is just a monster. Shamir's being set up to retire. I mean, just look at his past opponents, and you'll see that the UFC is making no favors for this man. Gabriel Bonfim versus Munir Lazaz. These both of these fighters are pretty similar. I'd say that however good Gabriel is with the hands, Munir is with the kicks. Um, so Gabriel doesn't really throw the kicks, and Munir does. Munir does throw punches, but they're coming from his hip, and he leaves his face open, and Gabriel will touch him up. So I'm sticking with Gabriel. Thiago Moises um, versus Costa Melquizel or Milk. Costa has he's aggressive. He's a good striker, but he just grapples a little longer than he should. And I think Thiago being with ATT is gonna just take him down, yeah, and control him. Find the submission, or at least look for it and maintain control. So I'm sticking with Thiago. Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Fiera. Bruno is a monster. I could definitely see him getting that first round knockout, but Gregory's he's the vet in this situation. I'm pretty sure he was set to have to fight somebody else, and he's getting Bruno as a short notice replacement. He was supposed to fight Brad Tavares. So the Brazilian Obama is gonna whoop on Bruno Ferreira. Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Ihor Potieria. I mean, just Shogun is just too old. I love Shogun. I could definitely see him pulling off an upset win, but he's done. He might as well have retired. He's done. So Poteria is taking this. Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker. This is a difficult fight for me to call just because Johnny Walker was looking pretty serious this leading up to the fight. Um, Paul Craig actually was the one wearing the makeup looking like a clown, even though he does it all the time. Um, but it is difficult when I think about Johnny Walker fighting Ryan Spann and having survived that monster and knocking him out, considering the wrestling. This is one that I might be upset about if Johnny wins, just because I definitely can see him winning. But I think Paul Craig will stay technical while Johnny Walker will get a little wild. Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy. I'm going Jessica Andrade. Lauren Murphy's just too slow. She had her time. She had her chance to have her time, I should say, and she blew it against Valentina. She lost that fight to lack of urgency. So, you know, she was there to be a punching bag. People like to talk about how she lasted so long, but she was just there to get beat up. So yeah, I guess she was a good punching bag. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. Another difficult fight. This is a tricky card, way trickier than last week. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. I think people watch that Shavkat fight and assume Gilbert's going to do the same thing to Neil Magny, considering he did something similar to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Um, but Shavkat's a lot taller than Gilbert. Neil Magny uses his range. Chimaev doesn't. So it's gonna be difficult, but I'm sticking with Gilbert Burns. Um, the the game plan is there, the way to win is there. So Gilbert Burns for the win here. Maybe even gets the I say by decision, 3-round decision. Davison Figueiredo versus Moreno. Davison looked good at the weight cut, looks ready to go. Um, the power is gonna be there. I'm having a hard time seeing him getting a couple knockdowns and being in Brazil. Yeah, maybe he's one or two punches behind on the every round, but I think the knockdowns are going to be enough to cement him a win and keep him as a champion. Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. You got to go with Glover. I mean, he was pretty much on the way to maintaining his championship in the last fight. He got caught at the end. Jamal will be more technical, more fundamentally sound compared to Jiri. So that's the thing to be the most worried about. He's going to be accurate. He ain't going to overthrow his punches or look to have some flash in his punches. He's there to get the win. He's there to get the kill. But I believe Glover's doing the same. He's an old man. He's not there to look flashy either. He's there to make it look dirty. But yeah, Chan Focus, Gambino, UFC 283.